Oh, hi there.
That's not funny.
No, you get it. You are a savage.
Do it again. Do it again. That's right, folks. It's Carlos, and this girl is on fire.
Man, you're not even in your
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get you guys introduced too, so we can start cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. That's Charlie.
Oh, I'm going to have to just rewatch this show just to see my expression when that song. What's up, everyone? I'm here.
And the sound guy, that's Jack Kasperzak.
Yes, I am here.
Jackson control.
Actually, I am in full control today, so watch out.
I always like you, Jack, no matter what.
So hey, before I forget, let's go ahead and let's throw out the Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-753-8248. That's 408-SKETCH-8.
Yo, we do it Jack's way this week.
011-408-753-8248 or 011-408.
Or the YouTube chat box.
Yeah, chat at us.
Oh yeah, and there's a chat box. And if you guys don't know, if you guys interact with us on the sketch, the sketch chat,
the internet. Yeah,
we just jacked it. But if you interact with us, we will we'll answer your questions as much as we can.
Okay.
How's it going, guys? What's new?
How you doing?
Yeah, well, you have no video, and you sound like you're hiding in Osama bin Laden's bunker.
Yeah, well, if you saw that video too, it looked like it too.
Yeah. So,
I'm surprised you were even doing the show today.
Yeah,
I know. Me too.
Dedication.
It's a little campfire gonna keep us from doing like artist inspiration. Come on, son.
Yeah.
What is it? What else do we do? Oh yeah, fun prompt.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
what's up?
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
So last week, unfortunately, there's yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, Jack's like, stop talking. It's my show.
Dare I say, hot trash?
He's gonna keep talking regardless.
The fun prompt was the little girl is grateful for the monster under her bed. It protects her from the monster in her closet.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, I did not partake this week. I was active, as Dave Atsy says.
He was active.
But we got Shiloh in here, man. Shiloh kills it as always.
As always.
Jack's drawing token right now.
I'm what?
You're drawing like
I know, right?
You like drawing Shakespeare right now. Jack has a feature film to draw. Which I'm liking, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up. And it's not that Inktober takes priority over fun prompt, but I've got a story going. So
got a story to tell.
Takes priority over fun prompt.
Got a story to tell, man. I want to know what's going to happen.
And then we've got the guy named Coconut Justice. Coconut Justice is
it's a kid show.
Is killing it as well. You got a new signature, I see.
Ooh, where's that? Oh, he hit it there in the bed.
It's the same one that I've been using for a while.
For real? I only just noticed it.
Yeah.
Is this Choopy's mutant brother?
Yo, that's what Chubby looks like when you pour water on him.
That's right. When you piss them off after midnight.
Yo,
So-
you should have a whole thing, Rick and Morty style, a whole like thing if Chubby gets water on him. Just you have 2 whole weeks of like havoc in the comic world. That'd be good
So,
until he dries off.
what's gonna happen to Rob when he gets water on him?
To stop working.
Right, just stops.
That's what Chubby's trying to do. He's just
Rust
chasing him
out.
with a bucket the whole time. Chubby's running for his life. He's saying, "No, I can't get wet." There's a story to tell there.
Story time. It's story time. Wait, whatever happened to our story time music?
I don't know, you tell us.
That was good.
You
No,
guys
I
kept
never had.
telling me to shut up.
I never had that one. That was a Carlos sound effect.
Oh yeah, I still haven't got.
It was because I'd be telling them Charlie length stories.
Candy Crush update.
Nice.
You got one?
I had been crushing candies.
I bet.
You're crushing the
Let me see.
candy still?
Speak amongst
Your
yourselves.
entire
Yeah,
city
still playing that
city's
game
on
for real,
fire,
right?
but you can still crush the candies.
There's so many games you can play.
City's on fire.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm on level 2270.
Oh, we're really doing this.
2270.
2270.
When you gonna quit?
Not no.
Probably when the city burns down.
No,
Oh, that's
crushing
probably
candies
this week.
is all you'll have left.
I know. That's all I have left to live for.
Jesus. Oh, you can only laugh. That's all we got.
Not left.
Yeah, so Sonoma, Napa, Santa Rosa, everything is on fire.
Yeah, and it's bad. It's not just like some
Yeah, no, it's
Like, entire
it's not like
neighborhoods
a little like
Baghdaded.
a few weeks ago I was in Portland. And Portland had it bad, but it was contained to like Portland, not to
Everybody.
not to measure, but it was Portland. This is like the entire county.
It's more than that, man. That's the crazy part is the news is only covering like Santa Rosa, Sonoma, and whatnot, and the wineries and all that stuff. But if you Google like a fire map, that thing is like
Dude, we Google the map at work. It's
they're
ridiculous.
all over the place. They're like all in Yosemite and like all down Sonoma. It's nuts.
All down the Napa Valley.
What started it?
They're not exactly sure.
I mean, there's more than one. There's
Was
like
it
separate.
natural fires that we've been hearing about, like each year since it's so dry, or is this something else?
Well, what happened? What they think it is? Preliminary ideas are the night before the fires started. It was super windy, and that probably pulled down power lines, and those power lines sparked up and started fires literally everywhere. And so, yeah, the fires have been burning for a solid, I think this was the 4th day.
And you're only at like what, 20% contained?
If even that. Like earlier today, they're like, hey, good news. We're 3% contained.
God.
And then there was another one that was like 10% contained. And you're like, oh, that's well, at least they're making,
So there's no way to
headway. But then you realize that there's like 21 fires happening.
Yeah.
So that laugh. Yeah. But so how do they they have that movie coming out where you kind of
Yeah, that hits a little close to home.
Is that weird? Coming out, and I wonder how they feel like, man.
Because we just got done in LA with the Verdugo Mountain Fire, and that was nuts. I mean, they evacuated most of northern Glendale and Burbank, and I mean, my drive to work goes right through those mountains, and it's just like black. It's like a wasteland. It's crazy.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen a documentary on like how a forest rebuilds itself after a fire, or how it
Yeah,
really, it's interesting.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is the fires are actually quite natural and to some extent necessary for the health of forests. But it's just
Yeah, it's
Now you come
actually
out the
pretty healthy
forest.
for a forest.
Yeah.
yeah. But the problem with this is California just
There's people in the way.
Well,
Now there's
I mean, besides the obvious that there's people in the way, but California has just been in such a horrible drought that it just spreads massively, and it's taking down like really well established, the established stuff that we need, rather than just dry brush, and it's just ravaging.
And it's crushing the wine industry.
God, yeah, I mean, some of these wineries are just
the tourist industry. Not to mention just people that live here. There's people that are losing 100% of everything they own. 100%.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy part about a fire like this. It's like
yeah.
And one of the sad stories that I heard listening to the radio was there was a couple that they were found dead. He was 100 and she was 98. They were married for like 75 years.
dang.
What, was he just stuck in their house or what?
I think they're just like, they probably just went to bed thinking if it gets bad tomorrow, we'll get up and leave. Well, they never woke up.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that I don't know how it is up there in the landscape and stuff, but here, if you get the call or the fire department starts coming around, announcing that it's mandatory, like if you're smart and you have the time and you're prepped, you leave during the voluntary evacuation phase. But if you're not ready or you're stubborn or whatever it is, and you wait until the mandatory time, like by the time they tell you to get out to when all the roads are blocked and that fire is like coming down your back door is like a matter of 10 minutes. It's
right.
It moves that fast.
Right.
So, it's possible that
fires will jump.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Miles at a time.
Yeah, that's the other thing about like when here is like I kept jumping the freeway and stuff, and just a couple of embers can float a couple hundred yards and start a new fire somewhere else.
So that's what it is the embers. So I was wondering how it was traversing over highways and like streets and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, the hot embers come in. This brush is just so dry that instant contact, and it's over.
And then we pack these houses and buildings side by side.
Yeah,
where the fire doesn't even have to try that hard, and you should see.
Yeah,
some of the neighborhoods that are
so sad.
It's entire neighborhoods are gone.
And it's crazy. You see these photos, and it's like the streets and the sidewalks and all that stuff are still there, and like it's just like someone just magic potioned and just straight up made the houses and stuff here.
Yeah.
No.
Like the whole thing. I'm not even seeing in the picture I saw. I didn't even see like inside furniture and stuff.
Yeah, it's all just like because these fires are so big and burn so hot. Like they're just
everything melts.
Yeah, they melt. I mean, there's photos of like inside of like an Arby's and stuff, and like metal. I mean, like metal storage crates from their storage room are just like like all melted, and like it's crazy how hot it gets.
Wow. Yeah. Isn't that weird how this puts it in perspective? That like, which is a little scary when you think about it, just because of all the natural disasters that's happened lately in the last 2 months. 2 months, I guess I want to say. That like people, in your neighborhoods and in Sonoma, and dealing with the fire now, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, a week and a half ago, they were looking. A week ago, we were looking at the whole Vegas stuff, right? Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we were looking at all the hurricane stuff, and they're just in their homes like normal,
Yep.
Sonoma, right? And then now, thinking like, man, or someone probably were thinking, man, like, I'm glad I wasn't over in Florida or something like that. I tell people here that don't jinx it. Don't say anything. You know, you never know what could happen. You know, in terms of nowadays.
And that's what's funny. My family in Florida is like, hey, you can come over here. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same, complete opposite. So you basically, there's this natural disaster that's happening and you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen. But over there, you get watered out. Here, you get burnt out.
Yeah.
But it's the same feeling. It's the same getting ready for goofiness. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, or you're watching the people down in the South and all the stuff they dealt with, you know, Houston and all the water. Like we've had like water and fire, like just like different types of water, you know, different types of like flooding, you know. Now we have brush fires and like mega fires and fires that jump over freeways to incinerate houses.
go backflips.
All
So,
you got to
like,
deal with is the ice and the cold in the winter.
I don't want to talk about it because then we're gonna get some kind of Armageddon type of snow this year or something. I'll be like, well,
One of the things that was
I can't get out of my
happening.
house.
One of the things that was happening that I was just completely disappointed in humanity. While there's a bunch of people out here helping the people in need,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
you have a certain select few that are dressing up like fake rent-a-cops and asking people if evacuating and all this stuff. And basically, they're trying to find out if the family's going to be home, and if they're not, these fake rent-a-cops are going to show up and basically steal stuff from their homes. And you think to yourself, special place in hell for assholes like that.
Yeah, that type of weird opportunist.
It's disappointing. It's like there's like internet trolls.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
why can't you just enjoy something cool? The internet is so cool, and we have these trolls that are ruining it. The same way, the same mentality goes where when humanity needs self, you have these bungholes that are going out there like stealing people's couches and TVs and stuff.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, I mean, I was setting up a transition, but I wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to express your disdain for those folks.
I mean,
But similarly, like nothing as good as Inktober. We've been talking about Inktober for the past few
Right.
weeks.
Right.
For the record, I've tapped out. I'm not.
I mean, you got so much
I'm
going
not
on.
doing Inktober.
You can start drawing pictures of houses that are burnt down. Like, God.
I could do Smoketober.
I mean, you could sit there for like a couple hours, like in that traffic, and like knock out
I
seven
know,
pages,
right?
taking 7 drawings.
But just like Inktober, I guess the story goes on Twitter, asked Jake Parker. Jake Parker is the guy who actually started Inktober about 5-6 years ago.
Right.
And someone asked, hey, can I do this digitally, or does it have to be paper and ink?
Okay.
You know, he's trying to make a point. He's basically saying, do it however you want. However, and was for you to have paper, and then that way you have to concentrate. You don't have the luxury of undo, redo type of thing.
Mhm.
Um,
And I think that his
where's the
original
cheese?
And I think his original statement was pretty innocuous. Like, it was just in passing, you know, as he was sort of explaining where, you know, why he came up with the idea and what it's all about.
So some people like giving him crap now.
Oh yeah, there's a whole hashtag called Inktober Divided.
And it's exactly
Because
that.
people-
Like,
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
people were upset because what Jake ended up saying is something to the effect of, if you do it digitally, you're not really focusing on the actual act of drawing, and this exercise is to get you to go old school, basically. He said it's okay if you do it digitally, and people understood that as digital artists aren't as good as traditional artists, and it snowballed into this whole big old just dumb argument that doesn't even need to be made.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like people just getting.
That's some dumb shit. That's some stupid stuff right there. Like,
it's really dumb. It's really dumb. I mean, the fact that it even became a thing, and I mean, it's such a combination of things happening here. I mean, the general internet troll mob mentality, but also like, you know, the insecurities and needing to be heard and feel like your opinion matters and all this stuff. I mean, there's so much weird psychology going on here, but I mean, at the crux of it, it's like, he made a statement. He's the guy who started it, and you can agree with it or you don't have to agree with it. It's not like
you just move on. I
mean, it's not like we're deciding who we're gonna kill. I mean, it's like it's a pretty like it's supposed to be like
that's what it feels like.
It's just amazing that people took it so personally, and they
Yo, I kind of want to trigger somebody now. Because I'm petty like that when it's that stupid. I'm like, yo, I just need to find the main thread so I can put my 2 cents on. Wait for somebody to respond to me, and then go in. Why are you talking right now? That's like stupid. It's like
well, and so it heated up, and it got this Inktober Divided hashtag going, and it got a lot of pretty big names, involved, folks who chimed in or whatever. I know Will Terry did like a segment on his show about it, but they work together, so of course he's got a kind of inside opinion. And then Jake posted, his response to it, and it was exactly what Carlos said. He's like, yo, I'm not, like, this wasn't about putting anyone down. It wasn't about telling people what to do. I was just straight up clarifying, this was my intent when I started Inktober. This is my intent when I do it. And he totally had, valid things, like it has nothing to do with like what art is better. He was just simply saying, that putting ink to paper, gets rid of the undo button in it. There's something to be learned from, just putting a line on the page and trusting yourself and getting away from a damn monitor once in a while. It's like, I don't know, man.
I know it's stupid, man. I mean, I don't do a whole bunch of drawing or anything like that anymore. But even I got inspired before Inktober to pull out the sketchbook and on the way into work and stuff like that. Although I didn't do anything
like
that, but like at the same time, I do value the art form in putting it to paper, as Jack put it, because it is I won't say harder because then people get all triggered, but I'm just gonna say it is harder in terms of when you just use a ballpoint pen and like, all those same things that people I think forget about when they're drawing naturally. Like, oh man, I'm the confidence thing all over again. Even and then adding being on the train, I'm like, man, that line is supposed to be perfect, and now I did all 4 lines of this box awesome except this last one. You're like, but like that's the problem.
That's kind of the point of it. Yeah, it's
working at it, and I'm like,
to work at it, to accept the mistakes you've done wrong, and maybe fix them, or maybe to turn them into something good. And
right, so I totally get that part of it. So that's why I understood Inktober, because it's like, man, you look at your stuff, at the beginning of October, and look at the end, it's gonna look better. It's the same thing.
I mean, I even had somebody at work get it because I'm doing mine.
It's just an excuse to draw.
Yeah. That's what it is. And it's fine. You know what? If you do it digitally, that's fine. At least you're drawing. At least you're doing something. Do it. Nobody's like we said. We're not killing anybody. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. Like, just do your thing and move on. But like, don't get all offended because
I wish somebody would get triggered at my work. I would totally be like, what are you
Somebody
talking
actually did on me. They were
about?
like,
I would talk about you for the rest of the day, and I'd be in HR office. I'd be like, look, what are you doing? Get triggered about me poking fun at you for the rest of the day. And I'm a nice person, but right now I'm a bully because you shouldn't be getting triggered about it. It's a problem with America now, and
Right.
like us nowadays.
And if it
so sensitive,
it's kind of like how Charlie's parents handled Charlie when he was a kid. Charlie started drawing. He got all amped up and got roughed up, and he got his panties in a bunch. And his parents were like, "Yo, give me that." And so you start acting right. Your
because you miss it,
back, right?
Yeah.
If Inktober's not for you, don't ruin it for everybody else.
Right.
Start your own thing. How about
get
that?
all triggered because like somebody talked about you only drawing on your Wacom tablet, or your Cintiq. Shut up! That's so stupid. Ooh, man. Ooh, baby. I feel like I don't care that much after this show because I'd be talking about people. This is when you need that Facebook post, that lures people in like bait. And I just say something. You know how people, when they break up with somebody on Facebook and they they talking about somebody, but they don't say their names. That's just me like putting a hashtag for Inktober and then the Inktober divided just to get the looks, just to see who posts it. Like, how old are you? Like, literally. Why are you?
Let's go to the chat room because Dave Atsy seems like he's got a lot to get off his chest. Trolls always seem to turn something positive into something bad. If everyone were held for the shit they say online, there might be less hate.
Man,
I'm sure most of these pathetic people are young kids who have no idea what they are doing, screen names, etc. Dave really had a lot to say.
Yeah, Dave went in. Got Dave cussing.
And anything that inspires you to draw for a month be a bad thing. Also, it's not like there's anyone checking to the rules. We all modify it to what suits us. Exactly.
I mean, I've seen people use digital last year, or they just only do black and white. Or like,
digital. I mean, there's people that are just doing. I mean, Dave's doing color, but it's still ink. It's like, people just like it. The whole point.
It's really stupid.
It's just to make some art. Like, even if you wanted to like do some sculptures every day, like nobody, like, come on, man. It's just a hashtag. Like, get a life.
Yeah, I want to know the asshole who made the hashtag. I wish there's like a history type deal in social media so I can find the originator of the hashtag.
I think you probably can. You can probably find the first instance of it.
I'm like, dumbass, what you got this stupid ass hashtag for?
What's up?
Hey guys, real quick.
Yes.
The Cubs just won Game 5. They're going to the National League. So they're playing the Dodgers.
There it is.
If they beat the Dodgers, they're going back to the World Series.
Man, we're at it again, huh?
I just wanted to go ahead.
It only took the world to be on fire to make that happen.
I know. Ever since the Cubs won the World Series, the world has been falling apart.
Yo, it's got it. You have to give up something, Carlos.
You're home.
How bad do you want Cubs to win this World Series again? It might.
I'm about to give up a
happen
house.
after the final pitch. Because it slowly started just dying the world. Mass floods. If there's frogs coming out of Lake Michigan, I know something. Yeah. That is weird that you've been.
I just wanted
funny thing. Like Cubs win.
I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to it about some people that just can't let cool things happen.
I mean, even not cool things. Like, I mean, is it really like, why are you investing so much time in like hating on something and like?
I don't know. Yeah, and can we blame it on this generation, or is it more?
No, I mean,
I think it's
culture.
It's a human thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because some of the people on my Facebook, some of the worst offenders are like 50 plus.
So it's just a culture shift where it makes it easier
Yeah, I think
to
the
do it.
internet.
I didn't think it was like this as much of like you had those people you grow up with that like, man, you're just a natural antagonizer, aren't you? You know? But I didn't feel like everyone was like that. You know, you have your people getting in those heated arguments, but now I feel like everyone is prone to get into those like weird, like, you know, antagonizing arguments because they feel like they're right, you know, and they want to. And then like Twitter is just a hotbed for that stuff, you know.
Internet in general, and exactly like Dave said, people hide behind these screen names. Whereas, I wonder how it would be different if people knew exactly who you were.
I think it'd be a lot different. I think
Would you say that stuff if people were able to find you?
Oh, I've had that happen with past coworkers and stuff like that, and guys have played games and stuff with, you know, and if they because sometimes I think you could be part of a culture too long that like you start to assimilate. I feel like, Carlos, you probably seen it way back when you're playing those games, or when young people are playing games in general, and how they act online, you know, or how young kids act online, or how one person in a room can like affect the whole group because of the nature of them being online and playing games and stuff like that. And that same antagonizing type of spirit takes over. So I had a coworker years and years back started doing that, and started like defending them. And I was like halfway through when, you know, the N-word dropped, or like anything else dropped, or the racial slurs started flying, because people just feel like they can say anything because they hide behind, like Dave says, they hide behind screen names. Yeah. I had to stop because he was like, oh, because I had a guy that I knew that used to work with me and said, hey, that doesn't sound really that bad. He's kind of getting overreacted. And so I'm like, did you hear what he just said? I'm like, look. And then like we gone on for like 20 minutes. I let him go. I let him cook for 20 minutes. And like starting to get educated, nice person, but every once in a while I can resort back, you know? And I'm like, okay, cool. And after the whole thing, and after he started to assimilate, you know, into like the culture that was in the room, you know, even though he's like, yo, we should change rooms or whatever, find somewhere else to go. Because there's a bunch of stuff being said that shouldn't have been said. I was like, okay, cool. And I just said one thing to him. I was like, after this is all said and done, you got to see me tomorrow morning. That's all I said. That's all I said. We're going to move on. But all these other people living in Utah and bumblefuck Egypt, I know you. We got to talk. We'll talk about this in the morning. That's all I said. Dude, shut up instantly. And long as okay, I'm going to log off. I'm out. See you. Whatever. It's getting too hot. Called in sick for work. I'm like, that's okay, because you work here and you got stuff to do. So I'm just gonna wait till you come in. We'll have that conversation. Came to my desk right away. Hey, I just want to kind of, smooth over what you. It's like, hey, you was being because you was being an asshole last night online. Cool. Almost said some racist stuff. I was getting loud. It's okay. I still like you. But don't you ever say that again, even better. Because I still need to keep this job. But it's cool. We good. But I was saying it in a joking manner, like my sarcastic manner, to kind of cover up for HR. So HR didn't get like scared or anything like that. And everybody laughed it off. But he felt bad. I was like, cool. I was like, people just, man. And then I was like, internet's a crazy place.
It is.
Like he forgot. And then like he had to take a day off to figure out how he was going to like face the music. Because he couldn't be behind his gamer tag anymore, It's like, man, why are you letting people with no home training, influence you? It's ridiculous. There's right and wrong, even if you're online. It's craziness.
It doesn't even have to be on the internet either,
right?
Because I was at the movies once watching, and I was with a big group of people, and this other dude that was in another group of people. They felt like they wanted to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
So I finally stood up and I said, would you please shut the hell up? I mean, they were legit on the phone going going scene by scene, breaking it down to whoever was on the other side of the phone.
Really? Yeah. So I'm like,
I had an attitude because I was already on crazy. So
yeah.
then he stood up. And I said, "Okay, I'll see you outside." So I went outside, waited for him. When he got outside, he didn't want to talk anymore. He wanted to run to his car like a little
Yeah.
bitch. I was like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah,
this girl is on fire."
I love that. Carlos is like, man, I haven't done this in a long time. Let me go outside and wait and get myself ready. Just get
I don't even have sleeves to roll up to go work on your ass.
Let it go. I'm cool. No, good. Well, you ain't cool anymore. I'm waiting for him to come out so I can talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I had one of my buddies. He's on the lighter side. You know what I mean? He's like bricks. He'd be like $110. And he just kept saying, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Fuck this punk." Like I went to the streets, dude. I was like,
Carlos, you don't have to do that.
I don't understand what's happening.
Yo. Why? I just don't understand where you're coming from.
I don't understand why you're doing this. Hey, anyway.
I know who that is.
We showed fun prompts, but we never picked one.
This is true. We didn't even pick one.
We having such a good
Hey,
time.
Dave, pick a number between 1 and 5.
Yeah,
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get
We gotta
started.
replay
I believe,
because we gotta rewind.
every day's a good day when you paint.
Yeah, Dave, pick a number.
Dude, that was perfect, Jack. Because you said,
I'm not.
yo, Dave,
Matt's
pick
in there
that.
too.
He said, hold on, one second. Okay. Then the music came in. Is he still? Yeah. Dave.
But anyway, yeah, I think
How about
that
we do this?
Okay, Dave said 3.
3. Okay, we're doing an environment, Charlie. If you don't frickin' do one of these,
Dave said 3
stab
too.
me.
Awesome.
Oh, Carlos may be on a delay.
An environment.
An environment. Let's see
We've
what
never
it is.
done an environment.
We have not done an environment.
Not believe the Cubs just won and we're going to the finals.
All right, remember the rules, folks. We draw the first
rules,
one.
Carlos, no exceptions.
If we don't like it, we can redraw, but then we are forced to do the second one. All right.
Yo, Shiloh's in the chat.
Hey, Shiloh, we're just about to do fun prompt. All right, we're doing an environment, and this one is a face carved into the side of a mountain.
A face carved into the side of a mountain.
Huh.
What do you think?
Oh no, that could be.
Thinking you might want to exercise your right to do version 2.
Your call, man.
What do you think?
You guys' call.
I don't know. Environments are tricky.
They are tricky.
They are tricky. Do you think this is a good enough one?
All right, let's refresh. Let's do another one.
Ooh, okay, we're going in.
We're gonna have to do it though.
That's what's scary.
Yeah, Dave's like that's.
Hey, Shadow.
This website is real slow, so just bear with me.
Doesn't matter anymore, Dave.
Dave said that's a good one.
Too late.
Dave likes
Quicker.
it. Okay. Hey, people will like this one.
Yo, Shiloh's like, yeah, refresh.
People will like this one.
All
An
right,
island full of dragons.
Yes, I knew it was gonna be even better.
What is it?
That is awesome.
An island full of dragons.
Nice.
There you guys
Nice.
go.
I like that.
Dragon Island. All right. So
Cool.
we've got our fun prompt.
Yo, Shiloh's like, yes. This is when you have to know, being a veteran at this, you have to know when to say,
Exactly.
let's try option 2.
Yeah.
You have to know when to say, "I believe everything is better when you paint."
You have to know what the theme song actually is.
Damn it. I thought I nailed it.
Savage.
All right, folks. So we've got our fun prompt.
Just joined. I want to make sure that he knows that the Cubs just beat the Washington Nationals, and they're headed for the National League.
Yo, Carlos, what did you
Championship
write in
Series.
the chat? That is not the
When-
fun prompt.
What did I write?
I wrote it, man. I wrote
you.
A dragon full of dragons.
So that's a pretty good
Nice.
prompt.
That's
So,
a pretty
all
good
right,
prompt.
folks who are listening, I pinged the other guys to just a reminder what it was. Clearly, I was dyslexic or something, and I wrote a dragon full of dragons.
Yeah, that's
Can I do a
prompt.
request?
That would have been awesome.
Can
All
I
right.
do a request? Can we do that one?
I think people can do either. We can either do an island full of dragons or a dragon full of dragons.
Yes, no, that is it. Executive decision. Let's do that. That is an awesome fun prompt. What does the chat think?
Oh my god, that is so good.
I was thinking, my head started like, wow, what would that look like?
So, folks out there, I hope you like drawing dragons, because there's gonna be a lot of them.
A lot
Yeah.
of them. An island full of dragons or a dragon. You make the call.
The power is
Even-
yours.
Oh my god, that's gonna be.
Yeah. Dragon.
So guess what I'm doing
What's
next week? Since county is on fire, I'm going to escape.
Okay.
It's probably a good idea.
Yes. Yeah, you're doing good.
Because I'm a scaredy cat. I'll be in Vegas next week.
Escape to the warm arms of Photoshop.
Yeah, I'm going to Adobe Max,
Ah.
and I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it should be cool. I want to see what the. I haven't gotten a schedule yet, so I
This
don't
is
know
nice.
what it is, what to expect or what.
You got
But,
the full package, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, you gotta
Um,
make that decision on what you're gonna go listen to.
But so like, I want to see what the schedule is like, because if they don't have any parties on Thursday, I want to do a show
Okay.
From Adobe
Vegas.
Max. Nice.
So you,
I'm gonna try to do some live streaming and stuff, but yeah, that's kind of it. I'm excited about that. So if anyone has anything, I don't know what the hell the schedule is gonna be. So
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
know.
say, is there any hint at all, like what's coming? What's this gonna be?
on the keynote or anything.
Today that said this is one of their. Here, let me see if I can find it real quick. But it was basically take a look at this featured session. Out what that is. Check out these featured max sessions. Designing for 231,556,622 Americans. That's by Jennifer Kinnan.
That was a long
The
title.
design of, yeah. Resistance, story art, creating pictures that tell incredible stories. That might
Okay.
be one that I
I
go
know.
to. I'm gonna go to as soon as I find out, post something, and if there's any classes that the Sketch Zone Nation is interested in, I'll definitely go to that. For the most part, I'm going to try to go to storytelling, stuff like that. What else did they? The story art, storytelling. There's a virtual reality video. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is there
There's
anything
illustrator,
happening on the floor?
animator, designer.
Ooh.
Who I am.
Is there anything happening on the floor?
That's about right.
Like Wack, like is like Cintiq gonna be there? Or like Wacom is gonna be there or anything like that?
They probably will be. Welcome in Adobe are super tight. So yeah, I'll see what's going on. I'm gonna head out there Tuesday, and I'm gonna be there till Saturday. And I know Adobe does a really good job at throwing parties and stuff. So I'm gonna try to stream as much as possible, give you guys a good idea of what's going on out there. So I have to get some battery chargers and stuff too.
Yeah, maybe you can like sneak in one of those after the talk, and then just there's nothing else going on after that talk. You just chill on stage and podcasting right there.
Wait for the next session. People be like, I think this is the speaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Steps out.
Brandy. My name is Brandy Smith.
Yeah. Everybody will start cheering if you're on stage and tell them that you're live on the internet, and they'll just like assume that you're supposed to be there. He's a famous blogger. Yeah.
I'm excited. I wish it was under better conditions, but dude, look at what's happening. I don't really want to get into it, but the gunman shot up a bunch of people in Vegas. Sonoma is on fire. The other side of the country is underwater. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to go to Max. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope I get Adobe Photoshop for free. Yeah. I got to draw a dragon full of dragons. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, that's the thing about all this is life goes on, unfortunately,
that's for sure.
The rough parts of life,
sure.
It goes on.
Mm-hmm. No, that's it's gonna be good though, because it's always good to like. I don't know. I always feel great during conferences, so it'll probably be a great like distraction just for a little bit, you know, before you come back. And I'm hoping you get some cool swag, you know. So, is any of the nation going or anything like that? You know, any of the
I don't know if any sketch zone people are out there that are gonna go, hit me up. I do have some friends that work at Adobe.
Okay.
That I'm gonna try to harass into letting me in like backstage and stuff, or is there wherever it is that they go. But you know me, I'm gonna try to schmooze my way into some stuff. So
there you go.
So yeah, it should be fun to stay as connected as possible. So you guys obviously are included. If there's anything that you guys want to see, or any booths or anything that you want me to visit, I'll do my best at harassing folks.
Nice.
I'll be like, "Do you have a quota?"
Quota for a drawing.
Pence for the poor.
Papa, hey Papa.
Yeah.
Good sir. Get your Tiny Tim on.
That brought the conversation to a screeching halt.
Yeah, get weird. You know, like, is this getting weird? No. No, Adobe Max is gonna be cool. Next up.
Yeah, I'm excited. So what else do we have on the docket to make sure that we talk about?
I mean, you know, we were kind of just talking about internet and trolls and, you know, how to handle that, how to handle criticism, I mean, this stuff has been, I mean, we did the Inktober and we talked about, what was the other one we just talked about? But
yes.
Oh, can we talk about like how some people just jump on cuckoo? Like that story where Szechuan sauce doesn't even really exist, but because Morty talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
A bunch of people went to McDonald's.
I don't even know if that's trolling. I don't know what you would classify that as, but like this weird fan culture thing is like becoming getting a little out of hand. I mean, it's same thing that happened with that that poor woman that lives in that house from Breaking Bad that kept getting pizzas thrown on her roof. I mean, this is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't watch Rick and Morty, so I had to read the synopsis of what happened in this episode.
Yeah.
But Carlos, I know you watched. Like, I think the
whole deal. Yeah.
The takeaway from this article was kind of the whole point of Rick and Morty was almost against everything these guys did. I don't know. Do you have any insight or?
I haven't even really watched the video yet. I'm trying to figure out.
So
who's who and what's what about it.
I guess what happened was they had an episode where Rick ends up fighting a billion versions of himself, and like he tears apart like everybody he's ever loved, and something happens that I think he kills his son or he maims him or something, all in the name. And it turns out in the end, after this big destruction, is that he was just trying to make duplicates of himself so that he could get more packets of McDonald's Szechuan special sauce that is now that like doesn't that they like don't make anymore or whatever, right? So kind of the whole point, obviously, aside from being a comedy and being absurd, the kind of whole point of this disgusting character is like that, he goes and does crazy absurd things, and even though he's a brilliant scientist and has all this stuff, that he would do all this for something so mundane and trivial and really quite dumb. McDonald's decided to,
and then that turns into mob mentality.
Well, so yeah, then McDonald's, so those of you who don't know, McDonald's got a hold of this, and they're like, hey, we're going to capitalize on this Rick and Morty thing, since, they talked about our Szechuan sauce in their show, but, there's copyrights and all this stuff, so they couldn't mention it by name, but, they basically said, hey, we're reintroducing Szechuan sauce, whatever. And what's that?
For one day.
For one day, and they basically grossly underestimated the Rick and Morty following, and these restaurants just got swarmed by these guys, and they like ran out instantly, of course, and people started getting irate. There was like fights breaking out. It's just nuts. Like, first of all, like, why? My question about all this is, what in the hell? What does this accomplish by you going to McDonald's and getting a sauce mentioned in a TV show? Like what? Like what? I don't even like that entire action just doesn't even comprehend. Like I don't. Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna post?
Because they're making a lot of money selling. McDonald's is making a lot of money by selling chicken McNuggets to some knuckleheads who want some.
Well, no, totally. I understand why McDonald's did it. I actually don't fault them at all. I get it. Like, why not?
Oh.
I don't understand why anyone would actually want to go to McDonald's, get a Szechuan packet just because it was mentioned in a show. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That'd be like,
trying to tell you this.
Jerry Seinfeld was eating a bowl of cereal, and I'm like, I have to go buy that cereal right now. Like it.
But that's just it. That works.
I know it doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any.
That's because you're smart.
Like I can't even wrap my head around the concept of that. Like,
similarly, what is it about Michael Jordan throwing a ball through a hoop that makes people want to spend $200 on a pair of tennis shoes?
I mean, that one in a way, I guess I can justify, and it makes sense. It's still a stretch, but it kind of makes sense. You idolize this guy for his talent, his sports prowess or whatever, but you assume because he endorses the shoe or he wears the shoe that can somehow make me a better athlete or make me closer to, you're emulating someone. And I guess that's what they're doing. They're trying to like emulate a show they admire and they like, but I just don't understand what.
But that's
Well, I
what's
guess-
happening. That's what's happening with our culture now. Like watch Instagram videos and stuff. The goofier I've seen kids lining up at a crosswalk, and then they yell go, and they start sprinting, running on top of cars.
Wow.
That's safe.
And then you see these people with the Szechuan sauce, and then you see just all kinds of goofy stuff, like the kids that would eat cinnamon.
Yeah, that's true. The cinnamon
Eat a
challenge.
tablespoon of
That's
cinnamon.
it,
Right?
but
And there's a
it's-
bunch of goofy stuff that just because it makes people laugh, it's just people jump in on it. And then right when one person does it, the second person is close behind. And then you have 5 people in back of them. And all of a sudden you got this mob that thinks that this is going to be funny. And they're doing it to be entertaining because they want their Instagram video to get as many hits. But they don't know what it's like to be Shiloh, to get like thousands of likes on everything that you draw.
But I mean,
And they want that. Like I wouldn't mind wanting that, or I wouldn't mind having that too. My difference is I would rather do it by posting artwork rather than shooting a bottle rocket out of my butthole. But that might be just because I hope to think I'm somewhat mature, and I don't like. I see those kids running on top of those cars, and I think to myself, "Oh, my ankles are gonna hurt."
but like I mean, I guess it's somewhat of like a performance. Like, they want to be liked and be Instagram famous or YouTube famous for a performance and doing something of
Right.
But that's like a career now. Like kids want to be YouTube famous. They want to be
Oh
Instagram.
yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
like
Definitely that. Because they see the Kardashians and they see all that stuff, and all the Kardashian. And I'm not trying to hate on Kardashian; is not my thing. But if you're gonna go make some money just by standing in front of a camera and going shopping, I would do that in a heartbeat to make that much money. But people want that. People want that. It's the Justin Bieber effect. Justin Bieber played the drums on YouTube for about 45 seconds. All of a sudden, he's the biggest pop star act out there. And people want that. And
Yeah.
if you can't get the millions of dollars, you might as well get a couple thousand likes. But Szechuan sauce, that's like, come on, son. You don't have any. You know how good the honey mustard is? You know who has bomb ass sauce for real? Is probably the best thing that they have is what's the chicken joint?
Popeyes,
No,
KFC's,
no, the one that doesn't like gay people. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Chick-fil-A had the best thing in Chick-fil-A is the sauce. If I could go get some sauce and leave and then go to, say, McDonald's, I'm in. Everything else at Chick-fil-A is overrated.
I don't know. Chick-fil-A's pretty tasty. I don't know. I ain't act like it's not. But
No, get out of here.
Are you just saying that because they don't
Their
like it?
sandwiches. If you don't put the Chick-fil-A sauce on the sandwiches, dry AF. Their chicken sandwiches are so dry they're flammable. I think, as a matter of fact, I think that's what started. You know what started the Sonoma fires? Chick-fil-A. Someone dropped a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Someone dropped a Chick-fil-A
It's going
sandwich.
down.
I've heard it all now.
Carlos is becoming the
Someone
troll
dropped
who
a
just
Chick-fil-A
got done
sandwich,
condemning.
Yo,
and now the wine industry is paying the price
Chick-fil-A started
because they could have gone to In-N-Out.
I've never had In-N-Out's chicken.
So yeah, I don't know. It's this goofy mentality that people just People just want to be quick famous.
Yeah, they want to be Instagram famous.
They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in 122 other episodes that you can catch up on if you go to sketch.zone.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like that.
I like how you did that there, sir.
That was nice.
Touche.
I'm here for you, bud.
That was nice.
Shitty internet and everything.
Even in the shitty internet.
Wow. Yeah, so I don't know. I find Rick and Morty very funny. The season 3, they're going. I saw Dave Atsy on Facebook trying to figure out if he liked it or not. I really like the first 2 seasons. This 3rd season, they're going deep.
Mm.
They're trying to be
Fans.
I mean, is
Yeah.
that what's happening? Is that they're writing for the fans?
No, I don't think they're right for the
No.
fans. I think it's going over the fans' head. The whole Szechuan thing, it's like crazy
I
deep.
think that's it. I think
And
they're
everything else with their storyline is crazy convoluted. Just
Yeah.
and it's deep. It's not like here's a fart joke. It's deep and they have a lot of science
And, like,
jokes in there.
different things, different like subjects they'll throw
Like,
in.
one of the-
Like I watched a video about some of those. I was like, man, I don't know if I want. It was clever.
one of
but I don't know if I want like that.
One of the things that I thought was hilarious was I think they were building a table and so Dave Atsy says jury is still out for me regarding Rick and Morty. He says the fan culture is somewhat making me not like it. Yeah, like I like the show. I don't need to watch it with 20 other people. I don't have that need to feel cool, but I'm old. But yeah, like okay, so the going back to my one standout moment at Rick and Morty where they were building a table or something. Let's just say a table, and the grandson, Morty, he was using a level, the one with the little bubble in it.
Yeah.
And he was using a level to level out the table. And so Rick was like, "What are you doing? Like that's a bubble in some liquid? You think that's going to give you like proper level? That's not going to be flat." So then Rick builds this thing where it's just like lasers and all kinds of stuff. And then he goes, "Here, stand on this." And then Morty stands on this absolutely perfectly level thing, and he gets addicted to being level. So the mom comes to get him, and he's like, "No, take me back. Just stupid." Yes, I know. He got the perfectly level surface. But something about that just makes me so happy. Maybe because I wrestle with them the bubbles when I'm hanging pictures. Anyway, it's things like that. It's adult humor. Charlie, you wouldn't understand.
Adult humor.
Wow.
Wow.
So then my next question would then be, let's say there's like this mob mentality that's happening, and like say for a hot second we were Jake Parker. How would you handle a situation where a good thing went bad and this fan culture actually turns on you? Like, because we've had not bad comments, but I would say we get a handful of like thumbs down on this show.
Yeah.
What would you guys say, or what would you guys want to do if all of a sudden people are like, they take out their pitchforks and their torches and they come after the sketch zone?
No, they got to do something meta from the show. They got to attack us with 1 billion crickets or something.
Ever.
Something meta like a billion crickets. We might have a show title.
Yeah. Because Jack's like, it's not meta unless that many crickets. I mean, you can try.
Yeah, like 5 crickets wouldn't be. It just wouldn't.
I wouldn't even respond.
I don't think Charlie would be impressed.
I wouldn't even respond. It wouldn't get a response from me.
I mean, I think Jake handled it the best you can. I mean, I think he's got a pretty big following that, and I don't think he's so big that he can just totally ignore it. Because I think it did kind of, there was people attacking him, and and his little Inktober thing has grown into. I mean, he had a post that was something like 3 million posts on like day 3. That's a lot of people drawing. Just
yeah, there's a lot of people.
He just started this thing as just some fun thing. I mean, I think the ideal thing is to ignore it if you can. I think why engage in that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why even give it energy? The more energy you give it, you feed the beast. But I think in his position, given that I think, and I'm just speaking out of my ass here because I don't know him that well. We interviewed him on the show and whatnot, but I get the vibe.
We met him at CTN.
Yeah, we met him at CTN. I get the vibe, that his online persona in person and brand is very important to him. I mean, I think it's effectively his lifeblood. It's his job. So I think he needs to protect that and calm a lot of the fans, because this wasn't just like one dude. There was a lot of folks jumping on this bandwagon. So I think he did what he needed to do to kind of calm the fire a little bit.
Right,
God, I can't believe I just used that metaphor.
You did it.
Maybe we should send him to Sonoma.
But I think ignoring it if you can is the best way to do it, unless you're just a boss, like some of these celebrities that have totally responded with like the best things ever. I think in certain instances you can respond if your response is just amazing. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think he handled it pretty well. I think I probably would have handled it a lot differently. Because I like to appeal to people's stupid nature, I think. But at the time, I guess, I don't know, because sometimes I think in my head, if I just explain this as simple as possible, maybe they'll understand and stop being dumb. But that doesn't work, because people don't really listen on the internet. They listen to respond. So I don't know what I would do differently. I think I would have just kind of did what he did in so many words, but he probably said it way better than I would, because I'd probably be a little sarcastic with it, and that probably would just make it worse. So because not saying anything makes it act like he's ignoring it, and makes it worse too. So you have to respond, and you have to just say, look, guys, bring it back to what it started from, list it with facts, and then hope the trolls get tired and jump on the next hot thing to mess with online.
Yeah, and I think being in Jake's position, or even being in our position, the only thing we can do is mess it up even worse.
Right.
So, in that situation, I think I would say, look, just be a part of Inktober. If you want to be a part of Inktober, you can want, and then drop the mic.
Yeah, do you?
And hopefully what would happen is, and this happens a lot, you'll see that your followers, your fans, or whatever you want to call them, the folks that support you, your supporters, will defend you for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he had that. He definitely had a lot of that.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, if you sit there and be like, well, you don't even draw good, like, all of a sudden people are going to be like, who is this kid? And I'm like, why are you talking to me like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, you're just, and all you're going to do is ruin ruin your reputation out there, and you don't really want that.
Yeah, so you have. That's what I say.
So keep it short.
Keep it short.
Keep it short. Do it if you want. If not, don't do it. That's cool. It's fine. Do it. I don't care with charcoal. I don't care. Just do it. Just draw.
Yeah.
Because if you go out of that, if you go over that line, you might say something that just comes off wrong, and then the worst thing you can do is say something that'll offend the people that are actually trying to defend you.
Right, because then you'd be like, "Wait, what, homie? What did you say?"
Well, I thought you were cool, dude. How are you gonna say that?
You got me sitting here.
I spent all this money on this Cintiq, and you're gonna tell me not to use it? You're gonna tell me to spend even more money? I don't have money. I just bought a Cintiq. I don't have money for ink.
Yeah, like, you use that digital ink. Just do you? It's so weird that it got to that point.
Yeah, we got Dave saying that he agreed to you should just ignore it, and he feels that they're looking for a reaction. You keep doing what he's doing and not force anyone to watch or take part. You can't win a fight with an idiot.
You know what, too? You know what? Because, and that's what the culture, too. Because I said it, I messed up when we first started talking about this, and I said it was based off of, this generation, because they like to put a lot of stuff on millennials because they whine a lot. But it's this culture. And, I think part of it is a little bit of, how we communicate with each other now, how social networks, influence the way we communicate with each other. Because, it almost feels like we're all... Oh, what is this from? What's the best way I can, what's the best way I can... I know it's like all of us are looking for. We all have to do the official response. Like we're all celebrities. How celebrities have to give a response. So I think that gets trickled down even to
public apologies.
Right. Like people, let's say in the 90s, anytime you heard somebody's going to give their response or their official press conference to whatever, it was somebody that was famous. It was somebody in office. It was, But now that whole notion of addressing the public, is trickled down to everybody, and to an extent, Jake Parker is famous, right? So he has to give his response, because he has to control the brand and all the other stuff. He has schools and stuff that he does. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think this notion that everyone has to do it, or this notion that this is a norm now, kind of is what fuels fire to all these debates, because then other people's like, oh, I have to give my response, or maybe I should respond to that, no, you don't have to give your response all the time. You're just you,
right?
You're not the president. You don't have to address the public because we're not looking for you to address the public, And
I think they playing off of that. I think that's exactly it. I think the public. I don't even know what the word is. The public.
Right.
The people at large, because you made a statement on a public forum, demands a response on a public forum, and it's like, no. I have my own automation. I can make my own choices. I don't have to put anything on here I don't want to. And I mean, this happened with oh God, what was that girl's name? There was a storyboard artist on Steven Universe, and they're notorious for their fan base as well. What was her name? Lindy something or other. She was on Twitter, and she was very active with the fan base as an artist on the show, and it got to the point where they started bullying her and demanding her to put things in the show and questioning her control on the show and demanding responses from her at all hours of the day, and if she wouldn't respond, it became this really weird, abusive sort of we love your show but we hate you type of thing. It's and she ended up I mean, I didn't say that, I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of what it became. It's
sure, but yeah.
The people who love this thing are ultimately destroying it. And I mean, she quit social media altogether because she just was like, I don't need this in my life. Like I was here because I thought it was fun and because it was nice interacting with the fans, but they've turned on me. And she made a pretty strong statement. I remember reading in one of, it might have even been on like This American Life or something, or NPR article. She made this statement about how it wasn't even so much, that people would say things or, off-color things or bully her with like that. It was more like this feeling of being controlled by the mass, that people were demanding her attention and demanding responses and, effectively controlling her behavior. And it's a really weird kind of subculture that has been created online.
Yeah, it's weird, and we see it in other, and even in other outside of art and TV shows. Well, in broadcast stuff too. So like, we can get into all the stuff that's been happening with ESPN and Julia Hill, and like how. And I talk about this among some of my other friends about like how people don't differentiate you personally to where you work at times. And I had some not controversial, but I had some weird way of thinking about it now where, okay, the first time it happened to her with like how stupid our president can be at saying stuff over Twitter. And she was commenting on that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then she kind of got the warning from ESPN or whatever, because like, at times fans can be stupid for certain things. And no matter what a celebrity says, or if you're on TV every single day, you have thousands of or millions of followers or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can have a public personal Twitter account.
Yeah, I mean,
if still hide behind, this is me. This is not where I work.
No, that line is totally blurred. That line
you can't do it anymore. Yeah. So then when she does it again, and she's talking about stuff either with the NFL or how the fans should boycott a certain owner or whatever she said, I'm like, before I was like, okay, cool. She's trying to speak out, activism, whatever. I won't go too far into it, but like, cool. I understand where you're coming from. Right on, sister. I understand. But now I'm like, yo, cool, you got suspended.
Now you're just picking a fight.
Yo, what are you doing? Like, I don't even know how you're gonna respond to like getting. Now she's like actually suspended. Before she was just like, she made a public statement, apology. People giving her a pass. She's in the office of the head of ESPN or all this other stuff. And now that it happened now she officially got suspended for whatever she said. I'm like, are you trying to get fired? If you're trying to get out of that deal, just go do your own podcast and get a bunch of followers, because you're gonna have a big, huge. You can have a national radio show and say what you want. Howard Stern did it for years. Like, if that's what you want to do, you could still be a sportscaster from afar and just not be on ESPN, or be a total like spokesperson in general, and people are going to want to ask your opinion about sports and ask your normal opinion. If that's what you want to transition into, you can't. Do you really think like you got so many people to look up to? You can't really say something about another team's owner or organization and not.
But at the same time, I mean, to play devil's advocate, why not? I mean, that's
because people don't differentiate between you and the brand you work for, no matter if you want them to.
No, of course. But I mean, that's the core of this. That I think. I agree. I think that line is gone and is blurred. But in theory, I mean, that's effectively why people watch you, because they like what you have to say. They agree with you for the most part, and they like your personality and the persona that you present. And it's like, you're not just vomiting stuff that everybody's going to agree with. I think. I mean, we do this with everyone now. It's like we crucify previously high held figures because of an action they've done, and it somehow erases all the stuff that they've done previously, and we have to condemn them. Otherwise, if we don't condemn them, then we're in agreement with it. It's like it's
right.
So with that being said, Jack, you're in the entertainment business. What's your view on the whole Weinstein thing there?
Oh man, I mean,
And like the Matt Damon stuff starting to happen now. Oh no,
I-
Ben Affleck.
I'm not even fully caught up. I don't know what happened with Matt Damon.
Is it Matt Damon or Ben Affleck? Hold on. We'll talk about give an overview of Weinstein, and then
The long and the short of it is that Harvey Weinstein has been for those of you who don't know who he is, I would hope so. He is this founder and head executive of the Weinstein Company, which does all these major films. And he's been accused, and he's been accused in the past, but it's always been kind of off the cuff remarks and kind of never really went anywhere, or he was able to silence them in out of court settlements, or just kind of make it go away through his power in the industry. But now it's gotten to the point where more than one person has come out and fully accused, and they all have corroborating stories, and there seems to be a pattern that's emerged. And
it's getting Cosby.
And now it's not just the accusers, but a lot of the industry is jumping on.
You haven't said what he's been accused of.
Oh, sorry, accused of sexual harassment and potentially I don't know that anyone's actually said rape, but they've alluded to extreme sexual misconduct or really poor behavior in the workplace and outside of the workplace, of course.
They had Terry Crews speak up in a tweet.
They even got Terry Crews to speak up, and a lot of people have said I'm not surprised, and that's the sad part about this, is that a lot of folks knew that this is going on in the industry, and that high-level executives abuse their power and just cover it up, and that so many people have been afraid to come forward. And now that this sort of has popped open, open the can, all of these people are coming out of the woodwork to be like, yeah, this is how it really is.
And it's big stars,
And it's big stars. It's not
Angelina
just
Jolie, bunch of people,
Yep.
bunch of people. So I guess, okay, so I linked the article in the chat, and with that being said, somebody else, other buddy, I don't know if I was talking to Buddy Tyrus or somebody else was asking it in one of our other group chats on Facebook, like, yo, so catch me up to what all this is. And I gave a brief overview like Jack just did. And I was like, looks like, Harvey Weinstein's gotten old enough where he's not as relevant or powerful as he used to be. So now he's getting the whole Cosby effect. And now he's been removed from his company or fired from his company.
That's an interesting angle.
That's how I think. That's how I see it as. Because I think for years, when he's younger, and I don't know if this is the same thing with Cosby, even though not condoning whatever they did, but I do feel, this is personal opinion here, I do feel that at his age now and at his involvement in the company, his company, and for him to be removed with such quickness, I do believe that wouldn't have happened, 10, 15 years ago when he was at the top of his game or whatever. He could still be at the top of his game, you know? And I feel, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of a conspiracy theory like with Cosby or with him, and this is a ploy just to get him removed from his company or whatever. But it is interesting to note that that these are happening to two very different men once they're way older in their careers. And, old habit dies hard. So if he's still that same jerk, as everybody knows, just never said anything, now there's been just consider this, now there's a blueprint on one way of getting rid, if you thought of it that way. And this is just an opinion. I don't really care either way.
The blueprint is wait.
Just wait. and then air out all the grievances. And that's kind of this new culture that we live in.
And that's kind of what's messed up about the whole. I think there's something really subtle that's happened here that I think you actually bring up a really important point, is that previously no one felt safe to come forward and complain about him. And the few that did were immediately shut down because he was so powerful. He was so respected. No one would ever do this,
Terry Crews, big, huge black guy, huge guy is letting things, what he said happened to him at a party. And then you know, brushing it off the next day because of he's the first thing he thinks of. He thinks of the headline of a dude stomping out a, you know, Hollywood exec. Then like there's some power.
And that's just it. And that's just it. Like you make one wrong move, and
career's over.
And you know the movie industry is super small, and especially if you're a name brand actor, both male and female. So basically, what happened with Terry Crews? He was at a party. Some guy walked up and grabbed him by the crotch and made sexual advancements towards him. And Terry was like, either I stomp this dude out, or you know, or I just let it go. But if I stomp this dude out, it's going to make the news because I'm huge. I'm an ex-football player, and this guy is just, you know, a little pervert. But then there goes Terry's acting career.
Yeah.
And no one ever said it'd be like
that fear of not being able to pay your bills falls right in line with guys with money and the power.
Yeah.
And this goes both ways. Guys and girls take advantage. If you're the one that has the advantage and you start leveraging that towards, you know, sexual advancements, it's hard to tell them, cut that shit out, by the way, give me my money.
Yeah.
Or give me my break, or whatever the case may be. Right.
So forward.
What you try to do is you not that you play the game, but you try to walk that fine line until you either get your movie or get your money, or whatever case may be,
get your status, or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And then but while it's happening to you, you don't realize that maybe this has happened to a lot of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you have the whole things with the industry and women and stuff like that, you know. So it's funny. It's cool that we use Terry, but now replace Terry with a lot of actresses, you know. Right. And you know, so
well, I think it's a very valid point too, because you would look at Terry not necessarily as someone who's going to get molested or someone that's going to be taken advantage of, but he kind of was.
Yeah, he totally was.
Like people will be like, yeah, so she's a hot girl, she's trying to make it in the movies. Of course, this guy with a bunch of money is going to take advantage of her. Yeah. But that's with Terry's story. It goes to show you that you don't have to be
anybody
a good-looking to go through this pressure. He's going through the pressures and the molestation and all that stuff.
You're going to say Terry's not good-looking?
Oh no, he's a very good-looking guy. But my point is, if it happens to him, just imagine how much more often it happens to the ladies trying to make moves.
And that's really, I think, the sad part of this is it's just I mean, it's the same thing with the Catholic priests. It's just exposing like this enormous systematic, you know, problem that. And
it's not just in Hollywood either.
It's because not. I was just going to say that it's not just Hollywood.
Washington D.C.
Yeah, I mean, it's Washington. It's Fortune 500 companies. It's
it's people with money in the Middle East.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's everywhere.
If you have money and power, this happens a lot. I'm not going to say everyone does it because that's not fair either. But it happens a lot. People leverage their power and their money to have their way.
So the weird part about the whole thing is, which goes back to, you know, the conspiracy theory topics, if you want, that are very valid in this instance a little bit, is there's been a bunch of detractors that's come out about Weinstein, right? And one of them was a certain young lady. and I can't remember her name right now. Her name was Rose McGowan, right? She was one of the victim actresses, or victims and actresses, Rose McGowan, who knew Weinstein, right? And apparently, she told Ben Affleck about this stuff, and Ben Affleck tried to urge her not.
Oh, so you play that game?
Tried to urge her not to go public or not to say anything, right? So when she came out about Weinstein, she basically said, "Yo, and Affleck told me not to say anything," you know, basically,
just like right away,
and put him on blast. So he's been all over the news, and it's weird. So this is the weird part. Guess what happens this week? Yo, whoever's got all these old footage, backstage video of Ben Affleck suggesting TV hosts go topless and makes rounds on social media. Like, just stuff starts coming out.
Yeah.
It's like some editors like, yo, so I bet you I can get paid this week. I just
well, no,
there's a lot of that.
That's exactly. It's just the mob stuff that we were just talking about. It's
and that's what I'm saying. And people, and I think in my little chat, they were like, "Oh, y'all wilding." And I was like, "I'm not condoning anything, but at the same time, it's no longer about, protecting people that are getting mistreated. Somebody's trying to get paid, because where are all the videos coming out from? Like, somebody has access to all these archives and stuff, and like, you know what? I think Ben said some crazy stuff back in such and such. Just go ahead and sell this to whatever news media who wants it right now, so they can break this story. And then more stuff comes out, and then other stuff comes out. I think if you search Ben Affleck, there's a couple different things. So now there's this video that's out. There's this video that's out, and then Ben had it. Was today the 11th? No, today. So on Wednesday, Ben tweeted, "Then I acted inappropriately toward Miss Burton, and I sincerely apologize." Got this dude apologizing now, trying to clean up, trying to do PR cleanup. So he was with, actually, for Burton. I forget her first name, but whatever show this was, what was it? He was just saying some crazy stuff. That's all. But this is like young, stupid Ben Affleck. Hillary Burton. She was a Total Request Live host. Oh, she was a DJ. Makes sense. Okay, so Affleck was hit with the accusations. Yeah, so like they just was like, you know what? He is. Let's see what skeletons are in his closet or whatever. And
but there is a market for that. That's why you see all these TMZs, photographers, movie stars can't. And this happened all the time when I lived in Hollywood. I lived right across the street from the movie theaters that a lot of the movie stars used to go to, and paparazzi were there, just click away. These folks can't even go to the movies without having cameras shoved in their faces. And then what happens is they sit on that footage and they wait and they wait and they wait.
Right. And that's the point I was trying to make to my other group chat. I wasn't defending anything, but I was like, this is no longer about that. It's just like with the kneeling in the NFL. People just turn and spin stuff, and it's no longer that. And when she heard Ben Affleck's name, it's like, dude, I got that footage from such and such. And then all you have to do is shop around for a couple of days, and enough to discredit somebody's whole career. Even if they were in the wrong, it's like you're trying to add gas to a dumpster fire,
Right.
So
again, with the fire.
Interesting.
Just kidding.
Oops.
But no, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing, not to necessarily defend Ben Affleck or Weinstein or even Bill Cosby for that matter. It's they did stupid things. But the thing is there a statute of limitations for stupid things? because I did a lot of stupid things when I was a kid. Like, is that stuff ever gonna pop up later when I run for president?
As soon as you get, wait a minute, you going for president?
No. But just, I mean, I can't do any worse than we're not
Just
gonna
trying to get in the
go
cabinet. That's all. I'm just trying to,
there.
trying to get a good job.
But that's just it. Like, is
Yeah,
there?
it's interesting, man. Like, it just doesn't seem. It seems weird, the whole thing, but
Right.
like it seems weird and it seems calculated to me at times, you know. And now I'm just like, okay, cool. This guy's about to get rang through. How many people are going to jump on it? It's just now we know all the names that end up coming out instead of like the random.
Right.
So like the random goes like, "Who are you again?" It's like
And-
we thought Tiger was so bad before when Tiger got hit. Like, man, you did what? You were like the politest person on those phone calls. You know, and then Cosby, you did what? And now it's like, why saying you did what? And these are famous people. Like, and everybody's like, yo, jump on it. Yo, remember that party back in '96? Yes, you should totally get out there and get vindication.
And now with they have, you know, everyone has a TV studio in their pocket. So you can't even go out and have a good time without the fear of, and it's not even that you're planning on doing anything wrong. Like you can't even go out and have a good time because everyone has a TV studio in their pocket.
Yeah. And like I said, we're not condoning anything. So if he was that big of a Hollywood asshole, then, you know, karma is really crazy. You know, so he could be getting just desserts, but like I just do like to point out like opportunistic people, just like we talked about the Inktober. Somebody that did that stupid hashtag is opportunistic. It's like, yo, I'm gonna do this hashtag, and you're just making things worse, you know.
Right.
For your little bit of fame.
Getting all emotional for some things that's not even your business. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Because you know you use that lazy mouse. you know you got triggered because somebody called you on your lazy mouse usage. Your
because you're tracing someone else's work. Get out of here.
You got triggered because you can't have perfect marker renderings like Dave asked me. Dave asked me to talk about this marker rendering thing you be doing over there. I see what you're doing.
I know. We were commenting on that right before the show.
Tell me that secret of how it's all one solid color and I don't see any markers.
Yeah, we want to know the techniques.
Call into Sketch Zone hotline right now and give me a response.
Got to get Dave back on. Have like a drawing sesh with Dave.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'll have to find it. Once I find it, I'll see if I can't maybe slide it into the show notes. But on Facebook, it's this thing called, I found a 2D hangout group. It might be 2D, it might just be art in general. It's called Artist Hangout Hub.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to hang out with other people that are drawing and doing all kinds of fun things, Artist Hangout Hub. And I'm going to try to do that like whenever my life gets to somewhat normal. I want to see if I can't maybe hang out with some folks and maybe draw some dragons full of other dragons on there. So yeah, I don't know.
Yo, Dave, you ain't slick in the chat, just writing the LOL. That means you should be writing explanations right now. What's with the LOL? I got you. You're trying to hold it on the secrets. Okay. Let's see.
Our Facebook.com/groups/art hangout hub. All one word. Art hangout hub.
Hangouts are great, man.
Facebook.com/groups/art. I'm going to start seeing if I can't get more active with them. Just because it'd be fun to draw with people. Jack and I talked about this before when we were doing, I think the first one or two fun prompts. For me, drawing in front of someone actually slows me down and makes me think about what I'm doing more, and so my artwork comes out a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like because people
So
are
I kinda
watching
wanna
what
hang
you
out with
do.
them.
I used to love doing the hangouts and the Polycount hangouts and stuff like that. Before we started doing this podcast. That's how we came across Google Hangouts when it first came out, and that's how I met a lot of the artists that I now know online. And that's like Steve Tarkowski's, Danny Williams, who's like a really good, one of my best friends now, was from that, from those hangouts. And it was kind of cool. Like you meet people all over the world, so like on a Friday night, back before the kids, I would be on it all night. And then like around 1 or 2 o'clock, the whole room would change. And here comes the European accents and stuff like that. And people were just waking up, having tea or whatever and everything else. And it was a cool way of doing artwork. It made you better, because everybody's looking at what you're doing and you're trying to do your best. It's cool.
Yeah,
So try it
like
out. It's a lot of different hangouts out there.
I like it. Like it a lot.
Like a lot. Next. What we got next? We're doing good, guys.
Do we want to do next, or do we want to do artist inspiration?
I think that's what's next.
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
I just put my link.
Yeah, I was gonna say if yours isn't working.
I just put my link on there, so go ahead and share that for me. I'm gonna
Charles.
All right, I'm fine. Okay.
Or do we want to let Carlos go first? Since
You let Carlos go first. I'm getting
I just put it in
yeah,
there.
yeah, I was gonna. I'll share it. All right, Carlos has got. Here we go. Aaron Griffin.
Let's go ahead and talk about Aaron Griffin. Yeah. I don't know if I need to say anymore. Just go to Instagram.com/Aaron AARON Griffin GRIFFIN.
It's Procreate.
Oh, you sounded like the Key and Peele. Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Sorry.
Aaron.
You spelled it out.
Balake.
I'm sorry.
Jacquile.
Proceed. I'm sorry. I just derailed the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dave. Okay, Dave Atsy, stop kissing Jack's butt. That's enough of that.
Oh, wait, what?
Who? What? When were we talking about me?
Dave Atsy goes, Jack is my inspiration this month. Loving his Inktober.
Yeah, there it is.
Get out of here.
Carlos.
So anyway, Aaron Griffin is just killing it with these
Portrait, man. I love when they show the process.
Beast with these portraits.
Yeah. And I don't know, I really like watching the process videos, but they kind of upset me at the same time.
Because I'm like, it's splotches.
This is weird.
I'm like, how do you
this?
splotches?
What is this like zigzaggy stuff going on? Like, what is that? A brush? Is it like a?
I don't even know.
That's a really weird. That's a really weird.
Is he using photo reference?
Yeah, that's my question actually. Is if this is coming from. It's really hard to tell.
Oh, dude, if he's cheating, no. I mean, there's things.
Yo, go into the Instagram. Keep going down.
No. He's got a full on process thing right here where he paints it from scratch. So.
But that's not his. Okay, cool.
And he's got some Inktober action down towards
he
the
does a
bottom,
splotchy
too.
thing. He has one of those brushes that are like weird. And I don't know how these guys draw with these type of brushes.
That's
They're like
crazy.
They're like squares and stuff.
Just not saying this dude does it at all, but just to bring that topic up, I have seen several artists actually work backwards, deconstruct a photo, and then play it in reverse.
Really?
Yes.
Dirty.
There's a couple of sneaky guys out there.
Like, look at that brush he was using. It had like a bunch of different spots on it. Like,
yeah. Hey, Jack, can you click on your square to keep it so when we talk, it doesn't switch? There you go. Thanks.
Like, look at this.
You're welcome, Dave.
Brushes. Look at these brushes he did. Jack,
so that is a brush. There's the weird brush.
Brush.
Hang on, there it is. Okay, so he has like a. It's a funny shape. Okay, look at that. Ah,
It's
see,
like it's like a bunch of shapes. Like he
it's a
made
bunch
a.
of shapes and they're like angular. I got it. So
That's-
it
Who
is a
draws
brush.
with 4 smaller shapes? That's ridiculous. How do you get control?
How is he doing that? How does he have that picture down at the bottom left?
Oh, he probably is using there's a reference thing.
My guess is he just drops that in the video afterwards. I don't think that's part of Photoshop or anything.
There is a plugin you can do where you can keep a picture like that up over top of your desktop.
Because I've seen that before.
Yeah, I forget what it's
Where
called.
you can put your reference material
Is it-
around the gray
Right.
part of
Yeah.
your.
You can put it on anything. It's like a photo. It's like
What would that be called?
image. It's like an image reference. It's
Is that picture in picture? I don't know.
what is it called? Because it's like a Windows blinds type deal. I have it on my computer at work. I have to find it.
Photoshop image reference panel.
It's a free thing too, Carlos.
Because I know in Photoshop, what's it called?
I think I have it here. Hold on. I think I have it on my computer here. I'm gonna find this for you. Pure Ref. That's what it's called. Look up Pure Ref.
Pure ref for those folks who want to know how to insert an image while working.
So it just floats it on top of whatever you have open in your computer.
I like
Yeah.
that.
He's really good.
I like that.
Yep. Learn something new, guys. Put it in the show notes. It's Pure Ref. I'll find the link for
All
it.
right, Charles.
All right.
Sure did.
I will share my screen today.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Yep, I told you so. Bear. Hold on with the inception.
Inspiration. Oh, did I speak too soon?
Boom. I went back 3D, guys, because too much 2D stuff. It's Inktober stuff. It was just like slowly killing me a little bit. Lost my way. I bought like 2 Copic markers. They were like $17. I was like, Charlie, snap out of it. Get back to 3D. It's crazy. Too expensive. Okay, so this dude's name is pronounce his last name. Talk amongst yourselves. But his first name is Daniel.
Basted it.
Yeah, I love the accent. Thanks, Jack. He works for a really cool company called Goodbye Kansas Studios.
Daniel Bystad.
Oh,
Basted it.
this is why I have people with me on the show. Dude's a Blender artist among a bunch of other things, but he is a freaking badass. Yeah, I've been doing some like evangelistic type posts.
Yeah, you have been.
Trying to trigger people. Trigger Tyrus.
You're gonna start knocking on people's doors and
Yo, did you see? Oh, we didn't even talk about the whole Autodesk putting funding back into Mudbox.
yeah, I saw that.
Bring it back.
I did
That's what I'm talking about. It's the better
I
scope.
did too.
Moving on. We could talk about it. See me if you want to talk about Mudbox and ZBrush. I'll tell you the history of the two. Anyway, this guy, I came across him based off of I'm petty that way. Anyway, I came across him based off of like not because I knew he was a Blender. More so, these two guys here are main characters in the big Unity Atom demo that puts Unity in the same range as Unreal in terms of cinematic quality. It's the same characters that are in Neil Blomkamp's new Atom trailer the guy who did District 9, who's doing a whole animated short inside of Unity at movie quality level. So through searching that and doing a bunch of other things, I came across this hero character. This Goodbye Kansas Studio made this character for a game that's coming out. And it's like basically in gaming, sometimes they'll do cinematic movies for commercial reasons and stuff like that to help sell the game. Well, I saw this guy. He was like, oh, this little guy's cool. And then I started researching. I always go to the studio that made it and then research on the studio, look for artists, and I came across this artist. So it's a whole big internet search to find this guy. And obviously everybody has ArtStation. When I found him, I found that all his other work was amazing. So there's like really cool VFX breakdowns and stuff that are really cool. but you can kind of see it real quick. It's like really cool, like animated. So go back to the page and watch it. But then he always talk about creating the hero, the concept art. I can't tell if this is because this doesn't look like ZBrush. I want to say something else, but I think it's actually Blender. But like, just goes to show you, it doesn't matter what tool you use. It's just how well you do stuff. And then they get into some Houdini stuff and all this other crazy stuff he's using for it. So it's a cool character. But with that being said, all his other work is really cool. I'm just going to scroll down because there's a lot of stuff here. He's got some realistic human stuff. I love all his like sci-fi helmets and stuff. All the characters have like a lot of story in them. Like I want to know what this world is that he creates. And I always like 3D artists and 2D artists that have really good style in terms of like all their stuff looks cool and like you're like, what is this world that you create on? Like they just think in this like certain style. And this guy oozes with it. But then he has a lot of cool sculpts and stuff where it's like, you know, almost like character type stuff and, you know, more artistic, you know, stuff, you know, just funny humor. It says ZBrush on it. It's hilarious. You know, but then he just goes crazy. So he's almost like Neil. I can't remember the other guy. There's another famous 3D artist that would remind me of too, but that's cool. Neil Blevins? No, not Neil Blevins, maybe. Something like that. But yeah, love this one. So some of his character work is really cool too, outside of like the, you know. Love it. Love it.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Oh man. Tobias Funky. Yeah.
Nice.
And like just really cool stuff. And like I love 3D artists where their stuff is diversified, where they have just a lot of different stuff in their portfolio. So it's really cool. So check them out. We'll have them in the show links. Way too much stuff to see. This is one of those guys you got to come back after the show and look at a bunch of stuff and look at some of the video, because some of these things will have breakdowns and stuff. And then, like I said before, shameless Blender plug, a lot of some of the stuff he's been doing is in Blender. And if you didn't know, right now, Blender's been doing a really big update in terms of like their system, their UI and stuff like that. They're approaching 3.0. So they have a new real-time engine that's lighting, PBR based, looks like Unreal type stuff. They're still working on it because it's got some frame rate issues, but it's looking good. So their viewport stuff is on par with Maya's viewport and stuff like that. Now where inside of Blender, as you're working, you have real-time lighting and your shaders show up and all that good stuff. And it's really, really interesting stuff. You know, really, really cool stuff. And it's the shader. And the shaders and stuff are good. So check it out. There's a bunch of stuff here on this ArtStation page. You know, so check it out.
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Drop the link there, and then we'll.
Yep, I'll drop it.
I am also doing well. It's 2D and 3D, but it's mostly 3D. It's mostly 3D.
Yeah, Jack.
And it actually kind of is a similar vibe to what you just showed, but a little more
Really?
cartoonish. We're going DaCosta style.
Ooh, okay.
So this is The Concepts with a K, but his real name is Tyson Van Wagener. He's a 3D artist, but also does some really good. He does real sculpts, CG sculpts, and then he also does some really cool 2D concept stuff that I'm assuming will probably later become.
That's all DaCosta right there.
Yeah, this is super. Well, Jake Parker does a lot of stuff like this too, but yeah, very Jake Parker, very DaCosta, and then he models it.
So I love when people bring the cuteness of a 2D into 3D environment.
I love this style here because that is exactly what that is. It's like it's 3D and realistic, but it's kind of cute, like a 2D toon character. And then he's obviously just got some mad like. Yeah. This is ZBrush. I mean, from what I understand, he has these printed.
Oh, mono,
3D printed.
Yep.
Nice.
You can tell here it's like resin or something. But yeah, he's got a lot of these little military bots, which I think are super fun. And then he ends up modeling. But he's also got some really random, funny character stuff. Just good design. I could critique the shader a little bit. but
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Jack.
but his design is real nice.
He was itching at you.
It was. I couldn't let it go. I was like, I should let it. No, I gotta. But the detail on this robot, this is super cool. Like, look at the
Yeah, man.
folds in the fabric and seams and wrinkles and all the stitching and stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's the Concepts, KONCEPTS.
It's cool style. Yeah, great work.
Yeah, very mech oriented. He did a little thing where he had like weird Western people riding around in mechs.
Bit of Wild Wild West.
But this is clearly like older stuff. You can see how much he's progressed. Like just in
Yeah, 2016.
It's not even that. Yeah, it's not even that old, you know. But you can see how much he's progressed in his work, which I always really like to see progression stuff.
Good old 3D work. Yeah.
Good old turntable. So yeah, check him out, Tyson Von Wagoner.
Good old Tyson. Good.
Tyson's be knocking it out.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's cool.
Excellent. Excellent.
Carlos, you want to close us out? Charlie, if
Yeah, what's
people are
up?
looking for you.
So now that we say that,
Well, if you're looking for me, you can find me at cargocollector.com/CharlieB Williams, ArtStation.com/CharlieBW3, Facebook.com/CharlieBW3, Almighty Pinterest, CharlieBW3, Twitter, CBW3, Instagram, CharlieBW3. Get it in your life, please, for your sake.
Yes, Carlos.
Hey,
Let's. Come on.
Jack's running this, Carlos. Start talking.
Let's
Oh,
switch it
I
up.
thought,
You can do the
perfect.
closing.
I'm in. Hi, I'm Carlos. You can find me at coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else.
And I'm going to let you do Sketch Zone because I don't know them all. Worst participant
Yo, Jack, you get the floor and you pass it right back.
of the Sketch Zone. But I'm going to do me. I'm at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack everywhere else.
All right, and I'll bring us home by saying, hey, this is Sketch Zone. You can go to sketch.zone. This was episode 122.
Two. Nuts.
So there. Yeah, so go to sketch.zone if you haven't already and catch up with everything that we got going on there. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, all that stuff. If you participate in the weekly fun drawing challenge, the fun prompt, which this week is an island full of dragons or a dragon full of dragons, feel free to post that on pretty much anywhere. Just make sure that you tag us, follow us, tag us, and then we'll try to share it on the show. Yeah, otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button. So then that way you get alerts every time we show up. And we try to be on every Thursday to show you how dedicated we are. May not be in tomorrow, and we're still doing this show. Yeah, otherwise you can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes, all that stuff. Yeah, so go ahead and subscribe, tell your friends. We try to bring on professionals. Like we've had a handful of professionals in the chat room, like Shiloh. That's my personal hero. Dave, I would say I like Dave a lot, but
We tolerate Dave.
He just finished kissing
Wow.
Jack's booty. And so we're gonna have to be, yeah.
I think Matt was in the chat.
Matt also was
Yeah,
in the
he
chat.
drops by usually.
Yeah, Matt Skanicki, he was there.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of guys that we try to come on the come on the show. Whew, English be wearing me out.
You're doing good.
We get professionals on here so we can take a look at this crazy thing we call life through their eyes and learn from them. Yeah, so we're here pretty much every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that said, y'all, everyone, please have a wonderful week.
See you guys.
See ya. Thanks.